IRR, you got the next logical thing that sir would do, ma'am would do, is compare IRR to WACC or hurdle rate, whatever is your case. If IRR is greater than WACC, you will say accept. Mr. Menon, my WACC is 12%, IRR is 18%. So my project 18 is greater than 12, logic, so accept it. Suppose IRR is less than WACC. Then you will end up rejecting the project. Menon sir, what's happening? Right? Very simple, sir. My WACC is 12%. IRR senior, I'm getting only 9%. Rejected. Agreed. But please take care. I have seen some nonsensical agreements without naming anybody, right? Some agreements from PE firms. If the IRR of the project, I will not name them. If your IRR of your project is 15%, I invest in the company at 150 rupees. If your IRR of your project is 18%, I'll invest at 180 rupees. I can only sympathize with these colleagues that maybe we have not communicated to them. I understand that there is a time constraint, you don't have time to revise the basics. But on what ground are you even having a legal case based on IRR? Because you have, and don't worry, ultimately these things land up in the court of law, right? And again, the learned judge is supposed to know what's IRR, right? And he will pass a judgment on that. But first thing is, there is a basic thing that we should not forget. And if you have done any course, whether it's a CFA or an MBA, please understand there is a problem of multiple IRRs. What is a multiple IRR? I want you to take it to the level. But before I take you to the level, just 2 minutes for the colleagues who are doing it for the first time. I'll invest 2 minutes here. I'll show you an IRR calculation. I'll show you an IRR calculation. This is the cash flow. All that, as sir said, in this case there is no problem of first year, second year, nothing like that. All that you have to do is say equal to IRR. Take it from here to here. And say IRR is 25%. Nothing, इससे कुछ नहीं था. वही formula था. Excel में coding हुआ है. And by the way, Excel, you can see it says values. For those who want to learn Excel, put the formula and press Control A. When you press Control A, Excel opens out what it wants to show. Say values. Equal IRR. And please note, Excel is asking for values. Like my respected colleague pointed, it is not asking for value 1. It's asking for values. So you can start from 0 itself, no problem. And again, since IRR is greater than WACC, I thought my WACC was 11%. 11%. IRR greater than WACC. You will accept it. No problem. But can I just write it down for my sense of satisfaction? If there is a take home that I want you all to take in this session, it is these 2 lines, dear friends. Use NPV for decision making. Use IRR for reporting. If you ask me, my humble request to each one of you all is there a take home that I want you all to take back at the end of today's session on NPV IRR? It is this. It is this. There is a serious problem, sir, of multiple IRRs. Serious problem of multiple IRRs. I'll give you one simple cash flow, right, with your time. I'm just showing it to you all. So you're all very nice clients. Don't ask me the name of the firm. My only request is, how can you commit such mistakes of wording an agreement based on IRR? I'll show you a simple case just to convince you all. And then I will try and simplify that also. I've been doing it right from morning. I'll try and simplify that. But first, this is for colleagues like sir sitting out here. I want to just for the first time today, I want to pick up a slide, right? For the first time today, sir, please note. For first time today, I want to pick up a slide and then show you one small calculation. I know it's not a modeling session, but I still thought I should just show it to you. Yep. So let's take it. Forget others. Forget others. Look at the first case. Sudhir sir, please look at the first case. You have what is known as multiple cash flows. You have what is known, you can please write to me if you need the slides and all. No problem sharing any material. Okay? Please, in fact, you'll get it on the website. You can download it also. If it's not there, write to me, take it. Right? Share it. I would be happy if you can share it. That first case, sir, there are two IRRs. Because NPV is 0 at both the points. Thank you for smiling. I'll tell you what. I'm sorry if I'm complicating. Right? I'll simplify it. I've already communicated to what I want. I can see that I've got them thinking. For others, sorry, right, if I pushed you all hard, I'll tell you what is happening here, ma'am. I'll simplify it. Deepa ma'am, you know what is happening? Sudhir sir? Forget IRR and others. Please forget IRR and others. Let's come back to common basic algebra. You have x squared minus 4x plus 3 equal to 0. Thank you. This is a wonderful audience. Somebody has already said 2 roots. Thank you. Here you will have x is equal to 3 and x is also equal to 1. 2 roots. Sorry, couldn't make out who said it. Thank you. It came from you all. Sir is saying, the Tamal is saying x equal to 3. Thank you, sir. This friend of mine is saying x equal to 1. I have to again say thank you, sir. Both of them are right. If I'm saying he's wrong, he'll take me out. If I say he's wrong, he'll take me down. Can you note something? Structure this. You are saying IRR is 21.92. I am proving with the same cash flows IRR is 228%. Let's file a legal case. Your agreement anyway was saying IRR, no? Fight. As simple as that. Where is IRR equal to ROI? I don't understand this. Where is IRR equal to ROI? Who has said that? IRR is nothing but the rate, third time rather, at which NPV is 0. It is not ROI. ROI is a linear figure. And the problem that we do is, we in project finance, because we use IRR Excel sheets, Excel is programmed in such a way that moment it gets the first IRR, it stops. Thank you. It doesn't tell you that there is a second figure. But if you use a goal-seek command or a guess command, and I'm not getting into modeling with you all, please, and it's all very simple. Believe me, it's all very simple. Give me some time, I'll train you on that. Or rather, I'll show you that. I don't need to train you all. You're all too good. Then if you start from guess function, आप try कीजिए sir, whenever you get time, start from 30%, वो 228 दे देगा आपको. Excel will give you both the numbers, but if you don't say anything, Excel एक ही number देके छोड़ देगा. If you are saying, Excel is saying 21.92, please understand that's the way Excel is programmed. It starts with 0%, goes. First value, where it gets NPV equal to 0, it stops. Does it mean that there is no, not another value? No. Like here, if Excel is saying x equal to 1, that's a part solution. It is not data sufficient. This is the complete solution. Here, I would like to say, please, one last time and that's it, my job's done. Please note, my humble request is, if you are ever using this, you should, this is my command, that I am been telling all my juniors in my organization. Dekho bhai, I understand, when you go to a bank, when you go to a consultant, he'll say IRR kitna hai. But our job is to first see NPV, is it positive? Does it pass it? Good. Then the project is accepted. That's a nice question. Profitability index, higher the better. Higher the NPV, better. After that, because the world wants IRR, you start talking in terms of IRR. But where is the shortcut of not doing NPV and doing IRR and saying project passes? Wrong. Having said this, in full acknowledgement, one last thing from my side, right? And then the two questions, right? One which you're eagerly waiting for is, right, black component, right, which I'll talk, right, towards the end. I will answer that. It's a pleasure, right? Please note, I just want to share a small experience. I take this course for family managed business, and there's this Mr. Agrawal who runs the famous Haldiram brand. He had come over to campuses, and we have this interaction where students of the kids come onto campus, and right, it's known as Samagam. They interact with us. Now, Mr. Agrawal, at this deliberately I'm taking names because the joke is on me. So Mr. Agrawal comes over to me, sir, Sawal sir, sun ke lijiye, you'll really enjoy this. Mr. Agrawal comes to me, sir, and says, what, aap kaun hai? I'm a very senior guy. I said, I'm Anil Menon. Right? अच्छा आप अनिल हो क्या? अच्छा मिस्टर मेनन, अच्छा अच्छा आपके बारे में बहुत सुना है ना. I said, ठीक है सर, जो भी सुना है, the kid is good, Subodh is doing very well, so possibly it's good. क्या पढ़ा रहे हो आप? And I was, those days I was teaching project finance. So there was this conversation. Says, क्या होता है इसमें project finance पे? So this is a famous brand, and these guys are running this for 15-20 years. Nagpur से लेके Calcutta तक Haldiram brand is famous. So I went in and said, sir, project finance, NPV, IRR. 15 minutes he listened to me. So, बढ़िया है. And then he told me something which taught me to be humble and more human, which I am by nature. It taught me even more, as I said, a student of finance. 15 minutes सुनने के बाद मैं क्या बोला सर वो आदमी, and he is more successful than I am. He runs a business. I am a nothing but a simple consultant. You know what? हम लोग ये सब नहीं करते. I said आप लोग ये नहीं करते sir. Now I got tuned in. I said आप लोग क्या करते हो sir? फिर मुझे बताइए. ये अच्छा है. First thing is he respected me. That I really want to say. First he said ये अच्छा है, and then he said हम लोग ये सब नहीं करते. So basically he said it's good, but this is bullshit. Indirectly he was trying to tell me this, right? I said sir फिर आप बताइए आप क्या करते हो sir? हम लोग धंधा मशीन लगाता है, प्रोडक्ट बनाता है, all that फरसार and all that. हम लोग देखता है हमारा पैसा 3 साल में वापस आता है कि नहीं. आता है तो हम लोग लगा देते हैं. इन्वेस्टमेंट और थोड़ा ज्यादा रहता है, 5 साल में पैसा आता है कि नहीं. आता है तो लगाता है, नहीं तो नहीं लगाता. I realized without the senior knowing what he was doing, first thing is full respect to him here, he was doing what we call as payback. And I learned it. I said, good. From that day, in project finance, I say, use payback for screening projects. And you need to respect these guys. Yeah? These are fundamentally the business guys who have done it better than me. At least me. I don't know about you all. At least me. I said, use payback for screening. So you may have a client who says, 5 years payback. So take those projects where you take it, excuse me, it cannot be a selection method. It can be only a screening method. So you take 10 projects, whichever passes is, मोटा मोटी idea आ जाता है यार, उसके लिए computer भी नहीं लगता है. तो मोटा मोटी you use it, remove the ones which does not pass your payback criteria, then use an Excel and use these 2 rules. So maybe before you go to Excel itself, incidentally payback has a problem. With due respect, it does not take into account time value of money. But having said that, I'm not going to take criticism mode ever, right? My only request is, before you even start using Excel, use a payback. You can screen it, use NPV for decision making, use IRR for reporting. Having said that, I want to now get on to answering 2 questions. A colleague was very nice question, which I have answered anyway, but then for the others, I also need to answer, right? Pleasure having this question. I will take 10 more minutes. One is that I don't want to invest time hunting for it. We talked about pay through, pass through. So let me answer that first. Switch off the camera and talk about what you're saying is wrong. You just got exposed to finance, but coming from these colleagues, when we say profitability index in project finance, right, like sir would say, it typically means NPV by I, net present value to investment. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong, but if you stand and talk to them and say profitability index, I'll immediately keep this as NPV by I. ROI simply is put as return on investment, which is normally taken as a profit and loss figure. That is not to do with project estimations. So at the end of it, you give me your ROI basically means how much are you earned on your bottom line. You can do it on a year-to-year basis, right? You can do it, right? Normally, we take it year-to-year basis and calculate an average. Please. The specific reason why I didn't touch upon it, though I am willing to take any questions on that, Harish sir, is preference share is not very common in India today, right? It's not very common in India for the simple reason, sir, but I'll still answer questions on that. That's a pleasure. So for a simple reason, clients have got other options today instead of preference, like a convertible option. Even an issuer, he doesn't believe in issuing preference shares because all said and done, he says, if I have to do it, I'd rather do it as a convertible, debt, three options so I anyway have, common equity, debt, or I'll convertible. Why have it? Preference share, I'll tell you, but still I like your question. Preference share, where does it make real sense? Where you have somebody who says, I don't want voting rights, but I'm willing to pay a lower price than common equity share. Yahan pe, sir, with due respects, even institutions, these esteemed institutions, they do a this thing. They are more comfortable in a convertible issue. I would say, since it's coming from you, I would rather request you all to put it as common equity or as loan. Don't put it as pref. If you're putting it as pref, please put a convertible option there. So invest it as a convertible pref share. Thank you. Please. It makes some difference, right? Because you are trying to capture it at the operating level, not at the bottom line level. It makes a difference. Definitely it makes a difference. If you read my paper, I have clearly showed what is the difference that comes in. See, the idea is you need to capture it at their operating level, right? Which is much beyond. And depreciation, my friend, anyway goes as, right? Depreciation is a non-cash expense. And you adjust, but you will have to adjust your cash flows for the tax part. It can qualify as equity. So, but it depends on which case are you looking at. If you are looking at, as coming from you, sir, I need to tell you that if it is convertible, then we need to say convertible after what period? How different will it make to a banker? For debt equity, we can qualify this as if you release post repayment of the loan. It should also be the equity for debt equity. He does it. He does it. But usme, the way it is, your specific question, kaisa karte hai? They look at. Absolutely. He looks at that. He looks at what discount or what premium does the conversion take place. He will look at that. But again, sir, please note, coming from you and since you are consulted, if you are devising any structure which is not very common and the bankers don't understand, please spend some time educating them what is it before you push it across. My humble request. I have had problems, sir. And typically, with due respect, sir, I'm not trying to comment on anybody. If they don't understand, they don't pass the proposal, right? It's as simple. And that's a good thing about India. Unlike US, okay, right? If the Indian bankers don't understand products, they don't pass it, right? US may, if they don't understand, they say, na, innovation is always one step ahead of regulation. That's how the subprime happened there. I'll take further questions after my course. I think I'll delay. So I'll just switch off and I'd like to spend